yet another episode of Canadian Herpetoculture podcast where Kiana's technology fails. This
For the third time tonight.
Yeah, literally for the third time today. This was supposed to be a live. My computer's broken right now. I'm trying to make things work from my phone. My phone really just is not putting up with it. iPhone, step up your game. What is this? Brandon's having a baby today, so he's not
here. Vanessa's having a baby.
Yeah,
okay, Brandon is playing with his phone.
Not everybody knows who Vanessa is. Brandon's lovely wife Vanessa is having a baby today, and so Brandon is being loving and supportive, or else. So Chris and I are here to talk to you about a very, very important topic that really pisses us both the fuck off. Would you like to introduce our topic today?
Oh, we're going to talk about Kijiji, wannabe, fake rescue, animal hoarder, animal abuser, horrible fucking people.
Did you include Flipper?
No. Oh, rescue for profit, animal flipper posing as rescue.
That one, yeah, those guys.
Did we get it all in there?
I don't know. I hope between the two of those titles we get it. But yeah, and what grinds my gears is someone with a ball python and a bearded dragon all of a sudden posting on Kijiji, Craigslist, wherever, as an experienced owner, taking in reptiles for their rescue, and then selling them 2 weeks later. I don't get it. I don't get it.
There is a level of see, now we're right back to another ethics episode. Because there's a level of ethics that has to be ethics. Oh, I know. But there's a level of ethics that has to be maintained for a rescue. Yep. And if you have found a rescue on Kijiji saying, please send me your animals, they have zero ethics. They are not a rescue. Real rescues do not want your fucking animals.
Yeah, they don't want to actively seek more animals because they probably have enough.
Real rescues don't want to exist. They're there because it is necessary in our society because there are just as many shitty people. They're there because to be, and they are capable of doing it. The ones that are posting saying, please send me your animals, I'll take anything, as long as it eats frozen thawed because I don't want to feed live, or as long as it's not sick because I don't really want to take it to the vet, and as long as it comes with an enclosure because I'm not a real fucking rescue.
Well, and how many of these people don't even have money to take the animals to the vets because there's some 17-year-old kid living in their Mima's basement.
And that's just it. I mean, I think I commented on a post the other day where somebody said, can I start a GoFundMe for my bearded dragon surgery?
Yeah, no,
you're a piece of shit. You should have saved up money. You bought a silkback dragon. It is special needs. Take your GoFundMe and shove it up your ass.
Well, and then with the argument that the bearded dragon has a stroller and everything, so it's taken care of.
You should probably sell the stroller. You should probably sell your computer and stay the fuck off the internet. Sell your phone so you can't buy anything else.
If your animal needs care, it is your job to get it that care. You either need to surrender it to someone that can get it that care, or sell your fucking shit and take your animal to the vet.
Well, that's just it. An animal owner that cares about their animals will do anything within their power. Sell your TV, sell your fucking couch, Sell the gold jewelry that you haven't even looked at in 10 years. Sell your fucking car. You can buy another car. We are talking about living beings.
Well, and exactly that. It's not a novelty item. It's not. And just because a snake or a lizard can't scream and cry out in pain doesn't mean they're not fucking suffering. Like, but I'm pretty sure that's the reason that people are okay neglecting them, is because they can't hear it.
Well, and the thing is, like, I thought about it one day and I said, how do trying to figure out how you get it across to people that their behavior is just atrocious. And I realized that if you take the statements these people make, like, oh my God, it's a water dragon, it's only worth $30, I'll get another one. It's not worth a $200 vet bill. As much as we laugh at the people that say, my ball python is my baby, if you took my insert reptile here and changed that to my son or my daughter, if the statement you are making sounds stupid, it is stupid.
Yes. Abso-fucking-lutely.
I thought about that the other day. I thought, I don't want to take it to the vet because it's going to be $800 and it's only worth $40. I'll get another one. If you're to say, it's just my son, I'll get another one.
Yeah.
You're a piece of shit.
I have an infinite number of eggs in the bank. Like, I can just keep popping out kids to replace them.
I got about 100 million times more sperm than you have eggs. So really,
this conversation's getting weird. I'm done having kids.
Me too.
They're literally like sentient beings, and they need to be treated as such. Wait, sentient might not be the right word, but they're living fucking beings.
They are.
They're
alive.
And they fucking exist to do a fucking living, breathing function. And, like, you're a piece of shit if you're letting them fucking suffer for your financial gain.
Absolutely.
Or any kind of fucking, I don't know. I watched, there's a certain little twerp on YouTube. It's not the normal one that me and you don't like. It's someone that I don't like even more. This kid made a video about how he's made money flipping reptiles.
I've never opened the video because it looks stupid.
It is stupid, but someone sent it to me when I told them, like, the topic of this video, so I thought that I should actually, like, look into it. And holy fuck, did it piss me off. And, like, in the end, over the, like, 2 or 3 years or whatever that he's been running, he said he's only made, like, it's been like a $600 profit overall in all these years. So, like, really, no, he's not making it. It's not profitable. But at the same time, he's posting about how he makes fake email accounts and shit like that to constantly lowball people to get animals for even cheaper, and, like, is messaging them from, like, 6 or 7 accounts, and, like, eventually they accept one of the lowballs. And it's just like, you did not fucking post that in a fucking YouTube video, did you? And, like, this video has over 1 million views on it.
It's because there are more shitty people.
Idiots are doing? Oh, of course,
there's more shitty people. The good people are few and far between.
I know.
It's rare. I mean, the people that I consider my friends is such a small list compared to the people that I talk to on a daily basis.
Oh,
because
yeah, absolutely.
People are fucking horrible.
Yep.
Like, people are disgusting.
People can say that their ethics are one way, and then I know we've at least seen proof recently that what someone says and what their actions are can definitely be extremely different things.
We can say Nolan's name now because he was outed publicly. Nolan's a piece of shit. Nolan should not send illegal reptiles to BC. Nolan should quit buying reptiles. Nolan should not advocate for the SPCA, which is a real rescue. I tied it in there. Nolan
they're
should
registered.
Go away.
Yeah. I wasn't braced for that, but yeah. You know what? You're really not wrong. With what we've seen lately, like it ain't fucking right.
It was.
Are you now?
Yes. No, and that's just it. Like I've said this. How many times have I said this to people? The stories that make the cover of the paper are the death, the gore, the abuse, the horrible stories. Nobody sees the feel-good stories. And if you were to go on Facebook right now and look at all of the comments out there, there are currently 2 posts about Nolan going off about him killing animals. What about the thousands upon thousands upon thousands of good owners who are not killing their animals, who are not flipping their animals? Nobody sees those people. Those are not. We watch car wrecks. We slow down to look at car wrecks. His life is a car wreck. We want to see what's going on. That's what people are watching.
We're all rubbernecking.
Absolutely. And normally we sit there and we go, oh, you know, like the lady with the 1 ball python and 1 bearded dragon, and they're her babies. And I mean, sometimes what they do sounds ridiculous. Like, oh, I bought it a stroller. But at the end of the day, sometimes they're the ones that actually give a fuck.
Well,
they're the ones that
they care.
Absolutely. I've seen bearded dragons in 8 by 3 by 2 foot tall enclosures with multiple levels. $2,000 enclosure for a bearded dragon.
Yeah.
But somebody will take a $10,000 tree boa and put it in a 2 by 2 by 2 cube with absolutely nothing but 2 rods in it.
Yeah, because that's how they're kept.
It is, but it's there's a middle ground somewhere where, cool, if you want to spend $2,000 to house your bearded dragon, awesome, as long as you're taking care of it. It's the same as anything else.
Yep.
But that's where the bad rescues come in.
The bad rescues.
You having a stroke again?
I see. No, I'm just like frustrated. I've seen a lot of new keepers come into the community recently, and I have been in the local community for like, it hasn't been a short amount of time. Like, it hasn't. I've been around for like 10 years, whether it's breeding or not, you know, like I've been around long enough to like, I'm seeing people cycling, and the people that were on the bottom are now coming to like, they're now the mid-grade breeders, and the like really high up breeders are like getting out of it, and like I'm starting to watch these cycles happen because I've been around, you know, just a little long enough. And I'm seeing these completely new people who I've never met, never talked to, are just coming out of nowhere, and they're scooping up every single thing that they can. They're posting on Facebook that they're like new keepers and everything's fine and dandy and they're just having a fun time. And then you see them posting on Kijiji trying to get all these free animals, saying that they're fucking rescues. And it's like, if you can't portray both your personalities on one website, you're probably fucking doing something wrong. If you can't openly post on Facebook that you're willing to take in rescues, what you hiding?
Oh, for sure.
I do not rescue. I don't. But if someone dumps a fucking animal on me, am I gonna let it die? No, I'm absolutely going to do my best to take care of it. But it's also not going to stay with me, but it's also going to probably be with me 6 months to a year. Because if someone's just dumping something on me, it's probably fucked up.
See, and that's the thing. I had this conversation with somebody the other day, and I said, my animals, not a single one will ever be tagged as rescue. Now, anybody that doesn't know me, I'm on the board for the BCRC, and I help run the rescue that they've established, which is attached to a legitimate nonprofit. It's going to be run the right way. That is the right way to do things. So I do know more than the average person about rescue stuff. But I told them, I said,
absolutely,
my animals will never be tagged as rescue. And they said, why? Why wouldn't you want that attached? And I said, because I also breed. So for me, ethically, any animals that I ever have in my house are either fosters for the BCRC rescue, or they are my personal animals. I have rehabilitated animals and given them to family and friends. I never asked money for those ones. I have bought animals, and I have fosters for the rescue. Those animals are not mine. I am just their caretaker. They are here temporarily until they find a new home. Nothing that I ever possess will be a rescue, because it's just a moral line I'm not willing to cross. I'm not willing to say, because the second you start to say rescue, you start to Kijiji people. Well, donations would be beneficial. We don't ask for them, but we'd appreciate them. I'm never going to ask for a penny, ever. Because where does that money go? Like, how do I explain to somebody that money or those feeders or those enclosures, I promise you, they went to the animals that are rescue animals and not my personal collection that I'm breeding. Yeah. It's such a gray area that personally I'm not willing to get into. I can't do it. And I don't understand. And I mean, I know it's going to piss somebody off saying it, but I don't understand how you can have the two in the same building. It just doesn't work in my brain.
It's just easier to keep them separate. Like, pick one or the other. I had a corn snake dropped on me from someone that was moving out of town. My kid went to school with their kid, and they brought it to me in a critter keeper like this big, and it was full-grown adult corn snake, massively obese. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? I was just like, yeah, I'll take this thing just to get it the fuck away from you,
Yeah.
And I had that corn snake for close to a year before it had lost enough weight, because it was massively obese, that I was comfortable enough giving it to someone else that worked with corn snakes, that had way more experience than I did, that was willing to take it on. And it's not that I didn't know that what I was doing. It's just I don't want to be working with rescue animals, and I don't want a fucking corn snake, to be honest with you. But like, I'm not. If an animal's suffering, I'm going to do what I can to try and help it. But like, don't fucking dump your animals on me, man, because I'm the wrong fucking person. Like, I'm not gonna let it suffer, but like, I ain't here for that shit.
And that's just it. Like, as breeders, I know plenty of breeders that get called all the time. You breed these, can you take it? And I know a lot of them that say no. And I don't have a problem with that. Because if that's their position and they don't want to be, I can completely understand them not going down that road.
Biosecurity.
Oh, for sure.
Like literally, just biosecurity. Why do you want to be bringing this stuff into your collection and, like, possibly risking it? That's another thing. These young people, like, I want to say young, but I know that there's men in their like 50s that think ball pythons are cohabbed and can live together and blah 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 blah, that have their own rescues, and they don't even know the basic care of the animal, and they're claiming to be a rescue. But I just lost total train of thought. Damn it. Young people that are starting rescues.
If you were offering to be in the position to offer help, you have to know what you're doing.
Well, yeah, and they just like don't have the experience. Just because you haven't had a bearded dragon for 6 fucking months doesn't make you qualified to do fucking anything except to put crickets in a fucking enclosure.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And even then, some people should only have rocks.
Oh, I will be the first to admit, I have learned through so much goddamn trial and error. You know, like, I had, I used to have breeders give me animals that had, like, you know, a tail kink or something like that. Just something small that made them less desirable to sell, and they knew that I had a passion for it, right? So I got given 3 Rankins babies that all had minor tail kinks. They were all clutch mates. They were all very young, like this big, like tiny little fuckers. And the breeder said they were fine together until they were older. I was like, okay. It was my first time with Rankins dragons. What the fuck happened? They bit each other in the face and fractured each other's skulls, and they all died from fractured skulls.
Oh, for sure.
Don't cohab your fucking bearded dragons. Like,
and that's just it. There are definitely species you can cohab.
Yeah. Yes. There is species that you can cohab. There absolutely are.
It's not hard and fast rules. I mean, I definitely cohab some things. I've also got, 30 species of snake at home. So it's a little bit different than I have ball pythons and corn snakes. I've got those too, but I got a lot of stuff, and some of it is capable of being cohabbed. Either I have some snakes that get cohabbed for 6 months. I have some snakes that get cohabbed year round. Like, it happens.
It depends on the species, and like it's absolutely possible. And there's some animals that actually thrive in like pairs or groups. You know, like it's very common to see Ackie monitors in groups.
Garter snakes.
Garter snakes are usually, well, not usually kept in groups, but like they're always seen in the wild nesting together.
Arguably, I've talked to people that have said they actually do better in groups. The vines I have coming, they're going to be kept in a group. They'll be communal. Like, there are some species that people have said do thrive in groups.
I've kept like Tokay's colony style, but I also had an enclosure that was like 8 feet tall and huge. So they could have different, you know, the most not aggressive female, but like the highest up on the food chain, she was always closest to the male and always highest at the top. But the lowest any of them were was like, I don't know, maybe a foot or two from the top. Like, it's not like they're hanging out in the bottom, but they absolutely had areas to flee, multiple hides, live plants. Like, it was fully bioactive. And that's not something that your average keeper is doing for their animals.
No, and that's just it. Like, my vines, they're going to be communal, but they're also going into a massive bioactive enclosure.
Well, yeah, like you showed us the designs for it. That thing looks
it's incredible. Going to be huge.
It's going to be amazing. And
it's also going to be my background for videos.
That's going to be cool. Very, very cool.
In the wall, like right there.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say before.
Young keepers.
With these like shitty idiot Kijiji rescues and Craigslist and wherever the fuck else you can get free animals that are neglected. They're posting that they keep it for 2 weeks to make sure it's okay and then send it out the door. So I literally messaged these locals doing this, and I asked what their quarantine procedures were, and they literally told me not to worry about it because the animals weren't going to get COVID.
Yeah.
1, that's not what quarantining reptiles is fucking for. And 2, there are absolutely strains of COVID that reptiles can get. COVID-19? No. I'm not saying that. Yep. It wasn't even the point of me asking their quarantine fucking procedure. I don't give a fuck what you're doing for COVID. I don't give a fuck. I'm asking you about your reptile fucking quarantine. Where I'm asking everybody.
And Dr. Walton posted about that because of a certain rescue in Alberta, which has been shunned by the nonprofit for potentially having nidovirus and killing entire collections. Because
we've known about this for months, and it's literally only now getting dealt with. And those of us that have seen proof of it haven't been able to say anything because names are cut out of it. And what the fuck are we supposed to do?
Exactly. But there was a comment on there. There was a comment on there, and somebody said, "Oh, this is just, fear-mongering trickling down from COVID." No, it's not. Nidovirus, crypto, IBD. Should I keep going? The amount of viruses that reptiles are potentially capable of carrying, which will kill your entire collection when, similar to the rescue that, has been brought up online quite a bit. I mean, they talk about no quarantine procedures, filthy enclosures, animals dumped in ditches, animals dying of nidovirus, animals being sold with nidovirus that took out collections. This is all information that's public that there's proof of.
Animals being put down in mass numbers with zero testing for nidovirus.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Rescue.
Yeah, but if you take it a step farther,
shit together.
We could take that whole conversation a step farther and say that us as reptile keepers don't even know how bad it is, because that anybody that tells me that the town of Kalmar is not trying to chase the rescue out by banning 90% of
reptiles.
Snakes, well, no, any snake that can potentially reach 4 feet. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. The bylaws looks like it was written by a 4-year-old with a crayon. They're idiots, whoever wrote the bylaw. However, the bylaw looks like it's written to chase out the rescue. And surprise, surprise, a couple of weeks after the bylaw gets its first reading, the nonprofit pulls all support and outs them for everything. I see a pattern here.
Yep.
And I called it a week ago. I called it a week ago before the post was up, and I said it sounds like they're chasing the rescue out. And then it comes out that,
you totally called it.
I posted on the post.
All the dots are connecting in this circle around one person, And this is someone that's been a rescue for over 20 years.
18 years, 20 years?
Something like that.
And that's the thing, is that the level of care and the level of knowledge is basically zero looking in from the outside.
Also, how many more advanced, knowledgeable keepers are going and adopting from rescues?
They can none.
Point out these mistakes and be like, that's not right, that's not right, that's not right. How many
so
of
now
us?
You have shitty knowledge, bullshit, being handed down to people that know absolutely nothing. The people that are adopting are going, adopt, don't shop. Okay, that's great, except that you're adopting from somebody that knows absolutely nothing. The advice you are getting about how to care for your animal is absolute crap. It will be dead in 6 months if you listen.
Well, I had someone contact me about that certain rescue saying that they adopted out an illegal species of turtle to them. And it's just like, what? Excuse me?
Absolutely.
What? Why is the rescue doing shady shit?
Absolutely. There is a Kijiji rescue in Coquitlam. Coquitlam has a bylaw that states absolutely zero snakes. It's been in effect since 2009. The person that runs the rescue, no, the bylaw's been there since 2009. The person that owns the rescue posted pictures holding pictures of rayticks that she said she bought from Nolan, you fuck. beyond the fact that the rescue is not allowed to operate in Coquitlam because, hi, I talked to the bylaw officer and conservation, so fuck you, I don't even care anymore. The fact is, in Coquitlam, it's illegal, and the file's still open. So all of the rescue animals that you posted in the last 3 days that you told bylaw didn't exist just got turned back over to them. Oh, fuck. The fact is that
peanut butter and jam.
Animals left, and today you posted that you've had your first successful rehoming. Congratulations, you've got another dozen animals in your rescue, not counting your personal collection, in a city that doesn't allow it. Now, how many people are surrendering their animals to this rescue in a city that doesn't allow them? What happens when the rescue's door finally gets opened up by bylaw or conservation for your illegal fucking species? They're all getting turned over to the SPCA, and any of them that are in horrible shape and the retics are going to be euthanized. You people that turned over, the people that turned over their animals to this rescue have potentially sent them to a death sentence. Because if the SPCA goes in and they're sick, they're going to end up getting you. It's a normal ball python. We could ask Adrian Walton what happens with normal ball pythons when they get turned into Dudney or turned into him for a checkup by the SPCA or whatever organization. Normals get euthanized. That's from his lips.
And that's because people aren't willing to adopt them. And also, what are we gonna do? Ship a retic across the fucking country to somewhere it's fucking illegal? You think the government's gonna do that? Because I fucking don't.
No, hold on. So the thing is, in British Columbia, the only place that's legally allowed to house a retic, since it is a prohibited species, is Dudney Animal Hospital and Adrian Walton, who is at his capacity. He has to house it until the case is over and they find an appropriate home in a province that accepts them. He's not willing to accept them.
Well,
basically, they're just going to get euthanized.
How is he expected? Like, I don't blame him. What's he supposed
he's
to
not
do?
In a good
have
spot.
A 16-foot enclosure just hanging out in the vet's office?
I don't know. We see eye to eye with Adrian, but I don't blame him for this one because don't fucking bring them here.
Literally.
But beyond that, the problem is, so what are they going to do? They're going to send it back to Manitoba? Winnipeg has a no retic law, so now you're in the outskirts outside of Winnipeg in greater Manitoba everywhere else. What's going to happen when Manitoba finds out that a breeder in Manitoba is sending them to British Columbia? You don't think they're going to prohibit them there? Ontario's already at risk. The laws haven't been passed yet. Who knows how those cards fall? I mean, there's a chance that giants get banned in Ontario. If they get banned in Ontario and Manitoba is partly banned, where the fuck are we going to send these animals? They're not going across the border because no one will take them and CITES won't pull the paperwork. These animals get a death sentence because you were irresponsible and wanted to show off to your friends about how cool you are with your big animals.
Well, and this is why you just... People are always going to keep illegal animals. They are. And I realize that I can't fucking change that. I can't. But don't fucking announce it.
No, and that's just it. I understand that people have dubia roaches. Dubia roaches are banned in Canada. Have I said that enough in the past month? Dubia roaches are illegal in Canada. I don't care if they're good for your beardies. They're not legal here. I understand people have cultures. I also understand people have bricks of cocaine under their coffee tables. Follow the same rules as them. Don't fucking tell anyone. I hate to put it that way. I'd rather just say follow the law, but I know people aren't going to follow the law, so I have to say quit fucking it up for the rest of us.
If you are going to be a criminal, be a smart criminal. Don't get caught. So stop.
These people are too stupid to be smart criminals.
Look, I have family that are career criminals. like my cousin is literally in jail for almost killing somebody.
Yeah.
His career job was grow houses.
Yeah.
You think he put a fucking sign on the front lawn that said free weed? No.
He did when he taped off the windows and it reeked out of the vent.
I'm not gonna tell you what he did because it might be incriminating for me. But like,
it's okay.
You know.
Well, let's get back to reptiles. Reptiles. I mean,
those things.
Some like seriously. I mean, yeah, you could ship a retic cross country with not Reptile Express, with one of their competitors, and you could mark the box as it contains a boa constrictor because boa constrictors are legal everywhere except Saskatchewan. You could do that. But if anybody opens the box, you and the other company are fucked.
Shit.
Oh.
I just don't understand, like, what the fuck is the point of risking everything for what, $200? I don't know how much it costs. But like, really, like, when you look at it, look at what you're risking for maybe a couple $100. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
My reputation's worth more than that. You could not put a price. You could not put a price on my reputation. I mean, we talk about new keepers, and I mean, I'm not going to kid anybody. 6 months, 8 months ago, Chris didn't exist. I'm not going to explain why, but let's just say 8 months ago, Chris did not exist. Chris wasn't on Facebook. People know other people's names, but Chris on Facebook did not exist. Now, in 6 months, yeah, I guess it's 6 months now. 6 months, I think people understand that I know what I'm talking about, but a lot of them don't know who I was before I was Chris.
Well,
it has nothing to do with the fact that I faked my way through it. It's the fact that I don't need to fake my way through it. I didn't come on there touting knowledge I couldn't back up. Absolutely. I know. I came in like a fucking wrecking ball.
But I saw you associated with people that I respected. And I don't even know how we ended up starting to talk. But you are one of my everyday people. Like,
yep.
I come to you with my, like, real life problems.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's because I've seen what you know as a keeper. So you've gained my respect. And I've realized that this is a person that, like, you know way more than me, but like mutually we're on the same level as each other. Like, I respect you as a keeper, you respect me as a keeper. We all keep what we like to keep. We have nothing in common as far as what we keep, I'm pretty sure, except like my boyfriend has ball pythons and you have ball pythons, kind of thing. I think that's like the only thing we have in common animal wise. But like, we are both equally passionate about this hobby. Neither of us are fucking afraid to yell our opinions at the top of our voices. God, no. And neither of us give a shit about the fucking haters.
I probably yell far too much. I get so frustrated going into a post on Facebook, and there are 42 comments, and I can see 7. Really? That many?
All the time.
You log in and tell me talking?
See, people don't like me because I have a fucking attitude. But those people are also the people that are known for fucking killing animals nonstop. But they've gained their following. So people will always flock to them because they've been around for X amount of time. The idiots will always have idiot followers. I don't care how long you've been in it. If you're a piece of shit that kills animals on a regular basis, I don't give a shit if you call me a bitch, sweetie. Come on. I don't fucking care. Your reputation's shit because you're a shit keeper. My reputation is I'm a fucking asshole, and I'm okay with that. Because in the end, I care about the fucking animals way more than my fucking ego.
Oh, I'm all ego.
Anything. You're a good mix. Yeah, you're all ego, but like you're all care for your animals at the same time, you know?
I won't tell anybody something that I can't back up.
Exactly.
If I
And
don't know the answer, proof positive, I will say, you know what, that's not my specialty. I don't know. You want to ask me, I got a message today about jeweled lacerdas. I sent it to somebody else. Like they weren't asking me for advice, but who would you talk to? Well, I don't know shit, but I know who does.
Well, I had someone ask me about BC reptile laws, and I was like, message Chris.
They didn't, by the way.
His department.
Oh. They didn't, eh?
Oh.
I know who it was, but they didn't message me.
She must have got it sorted out. Like she's an amazing keeper here, and I don't think it was her personal situation at the same time too.
No.
So it was how much chasing of information did she want to do for someone else?
Oh, for sure. I get questions like that all the time. Yeah. It's going to knowledgeable people. I mean, I take questions. I've put up posts on my Crown page before. I will take questions from anyone. If it's something that I know, I'll answer. If it's not something I know, I'll get an answer. But for people that don't want to ask themselves because the internet is horrible, and I'll take the fucking heat. Like some of the stuff that I've asked publicly, like I've stirred up all kinds of emotions with people. I don't care. If someone somewhere has a question, I guarantee they're not the only person that has it. And it's funny because I ask those questions and then I get PMs saying, okay, I've been in the same boat. Cool. Now the answer's out there.
That's what the podcast is fucking for, man. Like, yeah. We don't know everything. So I am going to spend all my time talking to people that know more shit than me, and I'm going to fucking learn. Because you know what? After these interviews, I listen to the episode once it gets published.
Yeah.
I was fucking there. But you know what? Doing the interview and listening to it are two completely, totally different things. Because like right now, while we're talking, I'm focused on this conversation, not like that little tidbit of information you said 10 minutes ago, right?
Yeah.
But when I'm just sitting there, cooking dinner or whatever, listening to the episode, that's when I soak up all that information and like, oh man, I didn't even like remember that so and so said that, and I gained so much knowledge just from asking questions. And if I'm asking these questions, other people have these questions, and all I can do is share it. It's okay. I'd love to say it costs me nothing to share knowledge with you all, but podcasting isn't fucking cheap. So if anyone wants to support our Patreon, have at her.
I don't know about you, but I get to yell at people for free all the time.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Absolutely. You're welcome anytime. Like I said before, I have a ton of respect for you. We always seem to have really similar opinions, and it's nice having another voice that's just as passionate, right? Brandon's a little more passive than me.
Oh, Brandon is so quiet. His wife's going to beat him in the next 6 months.
Oh, man. I'm so excited for that baby to come, and I'm just sitting here going, Brandon, you're dumb. You don't know what you're in for in the next week.
Yeah.
Oh, first
week
the first week is worst.
Great. No, the first week is great because mom wants the baby full time.
Oh, you've never had milk grow in.
I've had more than a couple of kids. I've had 3 times as many kids as you.
Oh, well, I know what you're good at doing.
Oh. Yeah.
I was 18 years old when I had my first kid, and I stayed at my mom's house for like a week or so after a kid was born, just like an extra set of hands, right? Mom knows what the fuck she's doing. She raised 3 of us, and we all turned out okay-ish.
Yep.
So I remember it was like 5:30 in the morning. She's getting my baby brothers ready to get on the bus to go to school, and it's like my milk came in, and I was just standing there in the middle of the kitchen crying because my tits were like the size of my head, and they hurt. And I was like, she was like, go stand in the shower and shut the fuck up. So I did. Vanessa, stand in the shower.
This is one of those tangents we were talking. This is one of those tangents you were talking about, huh?
Yeah. Did it start cutting out?
No.
Oh.
No, we got
tangent
in live color. Oh, rescues. Let's get back to rescues. We were talking about rescues. Kijiji rescues.
Okay.
Fake rescues.
Okay, so
Edmonton Rehab and Rescue Society. Did I say that out loud? I'm allowed. You know what? I don't care if I say that shit out loud because it's already been said out loud. I mean, anybody in the area has already talked about it.
Eris is a separate entity to the rescue.
No, that's Edmonton Reptile and Amphibian Society.
Yes, that's Eris.
Edmonton Rehab and Rescue is the facility.
I think it's Edmonton Reptile Rehab and Rescue.
Is it Reptile Rehab?
I don't fucking know.
Not Eris, not the nonprofit, not the Reptile and Amphibian Society. The Rescue, which is outside of Kalmar, Alberta, which is about to be prohibited from owning anything if the locals cannot figure their shit out. I wish they would listen. I hope they listen to what I've told them. I don't know if they will. They don't have time. They do not have the time they think they have.
Do you think rescues should all be NPOs?
Oh.
Or do you think that there is a place for for-profit rescues? Because we recently had a for-profit rescue try and pop up the other day.
No, that's an animal flipper. That Kijiji, I know exactly who you're talking about. What the hell is his name?
Reptile
Kevin?
Rescue? Yeah,
what the hell is that guy's name? Kevin? I'm a vet.
That's the one that thought I was talking about COVID.
Yeah. No, see, that's just it. That is not a rescue. That is an animal flipper. We do not take donations. We sell our animals. We are for profit. You're a pet store out of your home. You are an animal flipper. You are garbage. No, you are not a rescue. You do not deserve that title. Rescue, the word. Fuck, I wish I had the post I made. One of these, I'm going to try and find a screenshot of post I made about 1.5 years ago on BC Reptile Connection. And it basically said rescue is an overused word. And I went off for about 10 paragraphs and said rescue is an overused word. Somebody walks into the pet store. I rescued a bearded dragon. No, you didn't. You fucking bought it. You know, I rescued this boa constrictor. No, you didn't. You bought it off Kijiji. Rescue is used for everything. And in this case, we're talking about people saying, I am a rescue. And being able to say, I am a rescue, that is a powerful statement. And that should hold some responsibility. It should hold some accountability. Because the second you say, I am a rescue, people say, how do I donate? How do I help? If they're giving you an enclosure, you know what? I don't care what you have to say about this. That is as good as cash. If they're giving you feeders, they're giving you enclosures, they may as well be giving you cash. The fact is the second they have gifted you something for the rescue, you don't get to go out and fundraise for enclosures and then turn around and 2 months later shut your rescue down and keep everything. That's not right.
Fuck. Nope.
That's not right at all.
Definitely not.
Those enclosures were for the rescue. If you are not running the rescue anymore, the only right thing you can do is pass that along to a legitimate rescue. That's it. That is your only option to have any kind of moral high ground. If you kept a single one of them, fuck you, you're a piece of shit. You did not deserve the name rescue.
You profited out of a situation.
You did. 100%. You can't be a rescue and say, I'm only going to take animals in good health. That's not how this works. probably half or better of animals going into a rescue need some kind of special care, whether it be vet treatment or something that can be dealt with here. Maybe it comes in with 6 layers of stuck shed on its tail. Maybe it comes in underweight. Maybe it needs fecals done. Maybe it's got parasites. Maybe. The reality is that probably half of the animals coming into a legitimate rescue need some kind of special care. You cannot limit them to healthy animals and then call yourself a rescue. You aren't.
Well, and then there's also the fact that
to boost your ego.
If you are taking in rescue animals with questionable background, should you not just take them to the vet for a basic checkup?
Well, the problem is, okay, so this statement, I don't know if I agree with. This is one we may not see eye to eye on.
No, it was a question.
If that's a question,
it wasn't.
Like, I can't agree with that.
I can see both sides of it. Like, I really can.
Yeah, but okay, so tell me what a basic checkup is, because my vet can't tell me. Can you tell me what what's that?
You like literally cut out.
What is a basic checkup? Because my vet can't tell me.
Oh, fuck. I don't even know. Like,
exactly. So you said well, that's just it. You said, is it right to take it in for a basic checkup? So if anybody's watching this, comment, tell me what you consider a basic checkup. Because I'd love to hear this. I've heard people say it for years. I bought my new animal. I'm going to take it in for a checkup. If you can tell me what a basic checkup is, people agree. I'd like to pass that info along to my vet, who has no idea what a basic checkup on a reptile is. Now, if my vet doesn't know what a basic checkup on a reptile is, does yours, or are you just giving money away? That's a simple question.
Really valuable.
My vet told me that I know more about snakes than he does, and I know more than the average person. That's fair. But I go to the vet when I run out of info. So I take an animal there, and he says, okay, well, I don't know what to do. You've already done everything I'd suggest. Like, well, call your friends. Like, what do you want me to say? I do know some vets that specialize in reptiles that will take phone calls that aren't local to me. That's the best I can do, is that they've said, if another vet calls me, I'll help. I basically take my animals to the vet if they need medication, sedation, surgery. That's about it. I mean,
there's a ton of stuff I can do at home and treat
Absolutely.
at home. But, and there's like certain medications that I can have here, but if my snake gets burnt, this, that, whatever, I'm taking it to a vet because there is a limit to what I can provide,
Absolutely.
And am I comfortable doing a surgery? Hell fucking no.
Oh, no. Anybody that's going to perform a surgery on their animal at home is a piece of shit. I can think of a couple of names. Man, I'm going to say piece of shit. We need a piece of shit counter every time. Like, it's popped up a few times. If you're going to do surgery on your animal at home to say, I don't know, cut out the eggs that are inside of her because you don't think she's going to live. I'm looking at right as somebody in the Okanagan. If that's what you're going to do, no, that's not cool. That's a vet operation. That deserves painkillers, sedation. There are things that need to be taken care of. Back to, just because you can't hear your animal scream doesn't mean it's not in pain.
Well, and like that same person, I also saw them have like 3 adult Dumerals boas shoved in a fish tank.
Yeah.
So, like, that
I mean,
ethics just kind of seems fucking off.
I commented on a post 2 days ago where somebody had a pair of beautiful Argentine boas and said, I don't know if they're interested. Is my female going to eat the male? I'm trying to breed them. And it's like, how big is that enclosure? It looks a little small. Oh, it's 4 feet by 2 feet. I measured. Like, well, that's an Exoterra. They don't make them bigger than 3 feet. So you're full of shit.
Yeah, they're only like 36 inches.
Yeah, so you have two the female looks, I've seen pictures, female looks probably 6.5, 7 feet. The male's probably 4.5, 5 feet. You've got them crammed in a 3-foot exoterra that's not big enough for the female on her own. It's not big enough for the male on its own.
Yeah,
and you're trying to breed them. Why don't you just call yourself a fucking rescue? Put an ad up on Kijiji.
This hobby makes me really fucking mad some days. Because, the people that deserve... I smoke a lot of weed. Here, have some random weed brand.
See? Look, I
know, I see it.
Heart rum.
See, mine needs to say, I love rye because I'm classless. Someone's going to quote me on that.
Did you just say you're classy?
Classless.
I can hear laughing from the other room. We're not even live.
Never seen you that color.
You just say you're classy, and they're laughing in the other room at you.
No, I didn't say I'm classy. Although sometimes I will say I'm classy and assy.
I'm just always an ass. It's half full. Thank you, darling.
Thanks, Autumn. We appreciate
That wasn't
you.
Autumn. That wasn't Autumn.
Julia? Is it Julia?
Yeah, that was Julia. Autumn doesn't answer my
Julia.
Julia's awesome. Her and Autumn got me this amazing mug. Did you see this? Look at this.
I did.
Tiki mug.
Tiki mug.
It's a tiki mug that says "I love rum."
Jinx. Nice. Yeah, no, Julia's always a sweetheart when she messages me, so she's always one that whenever she's asking questions and stuff, I'm always willing to take the time for her. She's a gooder. And then, I love it when she sends me all the pictures of when you guys go herping, too. And everything's on your property. You are, herper rich. That's literally the... rich on your property. How many different species?
We have 2 species of garter on my property, and I've seen melanistic garters on the property, and some that are almost hypo. I've got to catch one day. So we get the 2 species of garter. Thank you, Jalen, for identifying them because I'm not that great at it. We've had giant snails.
A champ.
Oh, she is. I love her.
She's so smart.
We've got all kinds of snails. We pulled isopods out of the backyard the other day. I've narrowed out 3 different species and a couple of different color morphs of them. I've got them in bins out back getting cultured. I've got the isos, the garters. We roughback newts. They're breeding in the pond out front right now. We've got orgies. We have pictures of orgies, 6, 8, 10 animals going at it. We've got a species of salamander, and I think we've got 4 or 5 species of frog.
Wow.
Yeah. That's basically every species that they say is on Vancouver Island. We have virtually found
in your yard,
except for sharp-tailed snakes, which is the only other snake on the island. And I haven't personally found one in the yard, but I've seen pictures of one less than 10 miles away. So I have no doubt they're here. I just haven't caught one. And
that's really awesome.
I've got pictures of handfuls of baby garters that were picked up less than 10 feet from my front door. And then, of course, in the house, I have, 30 species of snake, give or take, tegus, bearded dragons, crested geckos, savanna monitor. What else have we got out there? Mangrove monitor. I'm sure I'm missing something. I don't even know. Oh, she said crescent geckos, but I think I said that. They're listening to me talk. They're giving me good pointers.
Thanks, ladies. We appreciate you.
Yes, we do. They're amazing. They put up with me. That's a lot. Yeah. I mean, you only got to talk to me a couple times a day. These girls put up with me on a regular basis. Autumn is a rock star.
See, imagine dealing with me.
Oh, I could deal with you.
Not fun. Probably. You tell me to shut the fuck up, and I'd be like, oh.
Exactly. But that's just it. See, on top of my attitude, there's the Harleys, the hot rods. There's, oh man, I have way too many toys, and she just puts up with all of it.
See, I wear the pants in this house because I just have like.
Well, that's because she hasn't grown into them yet.
Well, I just have a naturally dominant personality to begin with. So you either need to be more dominant than me and like know how to respectfully like deal with me, or I'm going to be dominant over you, and it's just I can be an overbearing person. Called you a bottom.
For when you watch this later, she called you a bottom. Google that.
I'm definitely the bottom in that sense. That's the only time I don't wear the pants.
Back to rescue. Let's get back to rescues. This will get bad in a minute. Where were we when we left off?
Fucked if I know. I remember asking you if you thought that rescues should be NPOs, nonprofit organizations.
I think that's the only way. So I had this talk with a wonderful breeder in Alberta. I love these guys. I mean, they wear my shirts. See, this is such an awesome shirt. They wear my shirt.
Crown pythons, everybody.
People. Absolutely.
Canadian mouse man.
Tyrone, my friend, I love you. You look amazing in pink. Brings out the color in your eyes.
And the stripes in his beard.
I know, right? So it was brought up the other day that maybe rescues should be registered, and they mentioned breeders being registered. Now, breeders being registered, I obviously don't support because I do not believe in government interaction in our lives where it's not required. However, I believe that rescue carries a certain weight, and the only way, I mean, nonprofit organizations have absolutely no power over a rescue. They could blast them online. They could put up a 6-page post about NIDO and how much money they've given them. And at the end of the day, they still got called pieces of shit because they blasted them publicly.
And it wasn't even
you deserved it.
Bad.
Oh, it wasn't. That's just it. They had every right. The second a non-profit organization gives the money to another non-profit organization, that should be public knowledge. Those finances were not hers personally. They were of the rescue. You want to use the word rescue. That means that your non-profit funds should be public knowledge. That's only fair. Yeah. You want to attach that to your household. The fundraiser you did to expand your rescue and put a building on your property, in 6 months, that building just would have been yours when all the animals that you're keeping are outlawed. It doesn't work that way. If you want the ego boost, you're going to have to put it out yourself. I think that the only way reasonably, we could get rescues licensed, and I think that's a slippery slope, because the only way the government would license rescues, I can guarantee it. I usually call this shit ahead of time, and I can tell you, if the government comes out and says, we are going to license rescues, they're going to base rescues on the number of animals you have in your possession. That is how they're going to separate it. And you know what? I know quite a few breeders that have many times more animals than the rescues, which means in order for the rescue to be licensed based on the number of animals is if they license the breeders at well, at which point you may as well call me a pirate, because that ain't happening. I swear to God, I will drop off the planet. The fact is that nonprofit, that makes them accountable. every year. They have to account for their finances. In order to keep their non-profit status, they have to file that paperwork. They have to expose themselves. They have to be accountable. If you're not willing to be a non-profit, does not take that much work. It really doesn't. It just means that you cannot hide shit anymore. This money came in, this money went to the animals. You have to prove it. If you're not willing to do that,
here's my financial report for the
exactly.
quarter.
I'm not saying you can't have your personal animals. I'm not even saying you can't breed. Morally, I couldn't do both. I'm saying that if you cannot maintain your non-profit paperwork with the government, I do not personally think you should be allowed to use the word rescue at all. You shouldn't.
Doesn't need to, but like I would like to see some kind of like community appointed board, like appointed with our voices and our votes, that could work alongside the Fish and Wildlife to govern rescues. This board is responsible for, investigating shit. I don't know.
Well, let's talk about that. You're talking about working alongside Fish and Wildlife conservation. So I call conservation, I say, here's pictures of animals, they're prohibited in BC. Then I walk him through CAS law, Controlled Alien Species Law from 2009, British Columbia. I have to explain it to him how it works. After everything's said and done, I walk him through. Here are the screenshots where the seller admits sending it to British Columbia. Here are the pictures where the buyer says thank you to the seller for sending it out here. Here is all the information you need. Here is the address. Conservation told me to go to hell. Conservation was not interested in it at all. And actually, conservation threatened me with harassment charges. Not me directly, threatened my friends who never contacted her. None of us contacted her. My friends were threatened because she lied, because the seller, Nolan, lied to the buyer and said, you need to pull all this stuff before we're in trouble. And she said, who's asking about it? And he gave them names. Conservation gave me back the names specifically, spelled them for me, because one of them spelt a little bit off. Gave me the names, and I had to call my friends and say, you guys need to back off. We're all being threatened with harassment. Conservation was not willing to work with me at all. They were not willing to look into it because that sweet little girl, I can tell when people are lying to me after all my years, and that sweet thing would never lie to me and endanger her animals. Like, well, I can't talk to you anymore because as a conservation officer, you were a piece of shit. But a governing
agency, the opposite.
Yeah.
Brandon has been working on building relationships with Officer Cole. He's a local fish and wildlife officer here in Alberta. And Officer Cole actively comes to Calgary Reptile Expo and stuff like that, so he can learn more, so he can do his job better. So we need those officers working alongside with us, because there's definitely keepers and officers that are working on merging the bond between the two sides that want to benefit both. So we definitely need more Officer Coles out there. Like, we really do. Because he gives a fuck. He really does.
But your concept of a nominated by the community board of people to work in conjunction with conservation is dependent on a conservation officer like Officer Cole. And I can personally tell you that maybe 1 out of 4 is in that neighborhood. I have definitely worked with some good conservation officers. I mean, I'm not going to kid myself. I've talked to conservation a lot. I've talked to bylaw. I've talked to all kinds of people in authority, because I have no interest in watching these people continue risking my privileges. I'm going to say it again.
Yeah.
The fact that we keep these animals are privileges. They are not rights. If you think they are rights, get the fuck out of the way, shut your mouth, and let the rest of us deal with it. They are privileges.
Yeah.
They can be taken away at any given point in time.
Especially when the privilege
British
is
Columbia
appointed by higher ups.
Yep.
Like, as a community, we have no fucking say in it unless we really band together with those like herp societies and start a fucking herp society.
Yeah. I have heard the argument that the reason British Columbia has no reptile rights, the reason we can't keep giants, the reason we lost the rights we had is because a lady in the Okanagan got bit by a tiger. Now, the fact that a reptile keeper made that argument, does that not show how fragile things are? Now, I'm not going to lie to anybody. I said I'm not going to, if I'm not fucking informed about it, I won't bullshit anybody. I don't know how that happened. I know that I've seen posts from Adrian Walton, who was around at the time, that watched all that, and he said only 4 people in the entire community stood up for reptile rights. One of them has since passed away. 4 people fought for reptile rights in British Columbia, which is why we lost them. If the community would have banded together, we wouldn't have lost them. Not as much as we did, anyways. Now, the thing is that the reptile community has made the argument that a lady gets bit by a tiger. CAS law is not reptile law. It is exotics law. Hi, puppy. It's exotics law. Reptiles happen to be covered under the exotics law. There's primates and elephants and tigers in there. We only look at the reptile side of things, but the fact is that the law came about however it came about. If it was because of a tiger, it was because of somebody getting bit by their pet rattlesnake, if it was because, who knows, a granite berm got lost in a school. I mean, I can think of a million reasons. But then, I look at Kalmar. Kalmar's trying to ban anything over 4 feet. And I poke around on their community forums, and I literally saw somebody say, how dare you say you should be allowed to keep pythons? It was a python that ate those 2 children in New Brunswick. And I mean, anybody that doesn't believe me, it was public. You don't even have to be on the board. Search Kalmar and snake. Kalmar snake, I think I found it. Literally, a comment was, it was a python. The person that commented had absolutely no comprehension that there was a difference between an African rock python and a ball python. They did not understand that. That's like saying that a chihuahua is a timber
Those are the people
wolf.
that get to make the laws.
Those are the people that write the laws, not us.
Yeah, literally. So, on that note, if you live in fucking Ontario, you need to know what Bill 135 is. 136.
Join Evolve on Facebook.
Evolve Reptiles. It's a Facebook group. Joe Puglisi knows all the information about it.
Joe or Ashley, look up Evolve on Facebook. It is all the information you need.
We did an episode on Bill 136 with Joe, and I read the entire bill and made up all my questions for Joe based on my reading of the bill. I tried to go over fucking everything. Listen to the review. It's full of information. Like, if you live in Ontario, you need to fight for your rights.
Absolutely.
If you don't know how to do that, join the Facebook page Evolve Reptiles and learn how you can help fight for your community. Everything is currently at a standstill because of COVID, but join the community, learn how you can use your voice to stand up for your rights to keep reptiles.
But let's take that a step further. Bill 135 is on hold due to COVID. Let's talk about the town of Kalmar, population 2,400 people outside of Leduc. Kalmar has passed their first reading of a municipal bylaw that will ban poisonous reptiles. It is written as
reptiles aren't poisonous.
Some are.
You eat poison. Venom is injected.
Some are poisonous.
Isn't it
Some
like a
are.
frog? Oh no,
Nope.
there's a venomous frog.
There's a couple of poisonous. No, there are a few poisonous reptiles. There's one poisonous snake, if I recall correctly. I can't Google it because I'm on here. But there are poisonous reptiles, but that's not the point.
But those aren't the animals they're trying to ban.
The spirit of the law is they're trying to ban venomous, and they're trying to ban any snake capable. I believe the way it was written was any snake capable as a species of reaching 4 feet. Okay, a ball python and corn snake is not going to hurt you. It is going to freeze to death in the winter. It is going to hide. In all likelihood, if it gets out of someone's house, it is going to die. That is the reality of Alberta. Well, however, it is a gut reaction.
You live in BC, right? But you live in BC. How many ball pythons are dumped in parks there? Isn't Vancouver like close to being like tropical? There's
Vancouver
at least a tropical
is on the waterfront
at
there. The U.S. border. Actually, I think Vancouver is. Vancouver's south of Montana border. Oh shoot!
I think I'm above Montana. I don't know the United States. I'm sorry to our American viewers. I know where Texas is. I know where California is. I know where Florida is, and New York.
I live on the southern tip of Vancouver Island. I see snow for about 3 days a year. I wear a jacket to go to work about a month a year. We are tropical.
There you go. And these ball pythons are getting dumped in like public parks, and they are fucking dying. And it's springtime. It's springtime, and they're fucking dying.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, the BC Reptile Club and the rescue have a couple of ball pythons that were taken in. They were dumped in a park. I believe one of them is currently up for adoption. For anybody paying attention, go follow BC Reptile Club. Go follow BC Reptile Club. There is a link to an Instagram page with available animals. Go follow it. If you're in BC, become a foster. We need fosters. We need foster homes, and we will be looking for adoptive homes. This is something we need. This is how we're doing it. We want foster homes from one end of the province to the other to have full coverage so that we can eliminate the Kijiji garbage. We have no interest in watching it exist. We want a rescue that is accountable and that is capable of handling anything. So if you are in BC and you give a shit about rescue, you want to talk about, you want to tell people that you care about this thing, at the very least go follow it. Maybe you know a friend looking for one that can adopt through us. That would be appreciated. Well, exactly. I would appreciate that.
BCRC is a registered non-profit organization. Yep. They are the only herp society in BC, if I'm correct.
BC Reptile Club is the only non-profit registered in BC right now, I believe.
Yeah, so this is a great organization to support. Our biggest patron supporter, Superior Serpents, he's put $30 of his patronage towards donating to BCRC. And it's $10 at a time, but it's $10 that goes towards you guys and goes towards taking care of these animals that some asshole dumped in a fucking park.
You seeing this?
Is that a little garter?
Yeah, it just got handed to me through the window from my backyard.
Look at his belly. It's got red belly.
Do you know what kind of garter that is? It's
beautiful. No, Jay's not here to ask either. Okay, buddy, you can go back outside.
One?
Yeah, grab a picture for me.
That's awesome. No, absolutely awesome. Field herping from inside your house.
I can see the trees. They're 10 feet from me. I can throw something out the window and hit them because I got the window open because it's hot in here. Because we're fucking tropical.
Yeah. No thanks. I remember going to BC as a kid, and during the summers for holidays, and I almost fucking died I came home with the worst sunburn of my life. I don't know if anyone's ever noticed from these videos, but I'm fucking white. Extra
you do
white.
kind of look like Casper.
Snow white. And this is like me with color. Like,
yeah.
I should basically use white foundation. When I like buy foundation makeup, I have to find stuff with silver undertones. What the fuck? Because like even lightest shade ivory makes me look orange.
Have you thought about stocking up at Halloween?
Have I what?
Thought about stocking up at Halloween. You know, late September, early October. Actually, right after Halloween when it's on clearance, you know how much makeup you can get?
A ton. A fucking ton. So me and you could yell about this all fucking night. We really could.
Oh yeah.
Do you think there's any points we've missed besides stop it? You don't have the fucking experience.
I think I come off really abrasive about this, and I you know, for anybody that's paying attention, if I have ever yelled at you about being a rescue, I'm not sorry. I am very vocal about this because, and we're going to go right back to the reptile rehab, rescue, whatever in Kalmar. They are the perfect example because I would put money on the fact right now that the reason that Kalmar is trying to ban reptiles is because of the rescue. This is a town that has gotten sick of the rescue. The nonprofit has gotten sick of the rescue. People around the rescue have gotten sick of the rescue, and it is nothing but bad publicity. And this is one that was established. I couldn't tell people. I couldn't explain how many times I have seen a Kijiji rescue become a hoarding situation with neglected animals. They get turned over to a legitimate rescue later on. Or even worse, they get turned over to another Kijiji rescue to restart the cycle. But now the animals are sicker than the first time. And what ends up happening is the SPCA. It ends up getting handed over to bylaw or conservation or whoever, and somebody comes in and it makes the front cover of the paper. If you are claiming to be a rescue, I understand that, you know what, maybe your heart's in the right place. Maybe you are doing it for the right reasons. You are doing it wrong. If you want to become a rescue, get registered, do it right, have some accountability. If you're not willing to do that, then you really didn't care about it that much. Because when you become a hoarder, when you have sick, dying animals, and you make the front cover of the paper because you had 50 snakes shoved into bins in the corner of your room because I grew too fast and I meant to get enclosures for them, Nolan. It's not good enough. You don't get to call yourself a rescue. And when you make the cover of the paper because they're all dying, now you're going to lose not only your rights, but you're going to lose all of ours too, when all you had to do was ask for help. All you had to do was do it the right way. Become a nonprofit organization. In order to become a nonprofit, you have to have a board.
Which is going to take work.
You have to have a board of directors to become a nonprofit. It's part of the mandate of this rescue.
You will put in the work.
But that's the thing. Is that if you have to have a board of directors,
how long it takes.
Go across Kijiji.
If you really want to do, you're not going to care how long it takes.
No, and that's the thing. Like, I'm not telling people not to be a rescue. I'm saying, you know what? You've got an ad on Kijiji saying you want to be a rescue. I'll tell you what. Go on to Kijiji, search rescue. I guarantee you within British Columbia, lower mainland, you could probably find 6 active ads, if I recall right. 6 active ads claiming to be a rescue in lower British Columbia. Get these people together. Create a board of directors. Become a nonprofit organization. Do it the right way. Now you're not even taking the load yourself. You're splitting it between the 5, 6, 8, 10 people you need on your board of directors to become a nonprofit. Take the steps, file the paperwork, spread the load, and you will not become a hoarding situation killing your animals. And we're not going to bitch about you because you'd be doing it the right way. If you really care that much about it, if you're passionate about it, you will make it work. Because I guarantee those of us that are passionate about it have fought tooth and nail to get the things that we care about. I can tell you that my collection did not come easy, and I gave up a whole lot to get what I have. because it's what I was passionate about. I can tell you that I gain respect from people because I'm not running my mouth and pretending to be something that I'm not. If that is the position you want to be in, go out and earn it. It's going to take nothing but work. It's not even going to take you money. It is purely your time and your good ethics. And if you do not have those, you should not be a rescue. That's it. There is no gray area at all.
Correct.
Go ahead.
No, that's it. Like you're right about all of it, and like the people that want to do it are gonna do it. Okay, that's not true because there's people doing it wrong all the time. If your heart is truly in the right place, Chris has a very valid point. Get in contact with everyone else in the area trying to do the same thing you are. Why don't you join forces? Hell, even if it does take money, isn't it better that there's 6 of you chipping in than 1 of you? You know, like, what are you guys gonna do when there is severe medical care needed? Like, isn't it better to have a nest egg already put away instead of, I need to have a GoFundMe for my lizard's amputation that I was too dumb to fucking plan for because I didn't give my special needs animal the fucking special care it needs.
Yeah, that's it.
This is I'm sorry, but
and I mean that case that you're talking about is literally
start a rescue.
The case you're talking about, the bearded dragon. He had a $200 credit card and needed $470 total. He had to come up with $270 for a bearded dragon. That what's a silkback worth? $250, $300 on its own minimum.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm pretty sure silkbacks are expensive. When I
was looking at them. Yeah,
they're not cheap. They're not cheap, and some breeders refuse to do silkbacks because they do not trust that keepers will give them the care that they need. That right there should be your warning, but it's beautiful, yeah, exactly. Cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
If
like,
you want a rainbow,
why don't you go buy a Ferrari and put diesel in it, you dumb fuck? Like, come on, guys. This is just stupid. Like, it is seriously stupid. It's mind-blowing for people that are claim to be so passionate about something. But you know what? Like, you're going to say you're passionate about it. Then why aren't you willing to put in the work at all? Like, if you're truly passionate, you will do whatever it takes.
You can have the passion and drive to help animals without starting a rescue.
Oh, absolutely. If you're in British Columbia, contact the BCRC. We need fosters. Tell you what, then you can brag about how you're fostering rescues. You are contributing to the rescue. You are doing your part, and the financial burden isn't even yours. You get to take care of them as a foster until it's adopted. How is that not a win?
Yep.
That is a serious win. All you got to do is prove that you can take care of it.
I hope you guys do really well with that program. Like, I know it's really new, the rescue portion of it.
It is. Like, it's really new, and like myself and Jay are the ones heading it.
And
Jay
both
takes the brunt of it.
Knowledgeable keepers in the community and very well respected. Like, I don't know a female herper that knows more than Jay, and I don't know a male herper that knows more than Jay, to be fucking honest with you. That woman is well versed and knows her shit, she has all the respect for me just based on the fucking knowledge she has.
Jay is the definition
she's way younger
of passionate.
than me.
She is the definition of passionate.
Absolutely.
She truly
1,000%.
She is. She wanted to know, so she taught herself. She wanted to know, she experienced it. She goes out, she did it. There was never a question about the cost or the time. She will take the days off of work to go to the fucking speeches. She will do what it takes because that is what she is passionate about. The fact that most people are passionate about posting on Facebook about how cool they are.
If you're passionate about reptiles, learn some history about them.
Yep.
this has been my biggest thing lately, is learning the history of how we got here.
Yeah.
And it was through a lot of illegal shit. It really
Oh,
was.
yeah.
And a lot of shit that is not fucking okay. But we would have nothing without it. If you are part of the reptile community, you need to know the history of your community, I think. I think it is beyond important.
It's really easy to talk down on people and look down. You know, I mean, we've all said the same thing about Brian Barczyk. Brian Barczyk's a piece of shit. Well, you know what? Brian Barczyk is a YouTube star. He's not a keeper. But the fact is that a large portion of the hobby would not exist without what he did 20 years ago. It wouldn't. So for a ball python breeder to say Brian Barczyk is a piece of shit is kind of ironic. It really is.
Yep.
Because 20 years ago, he was the guy willing to front the money to make this happen. You would not be breeding your spot nose, super orange dream, firefly fucking clown. Whatever. If he hadn't have done what he did. You really wouldn't have, because nobody else picked up the slack there. He did things that put us where we are. And maybe it would have happened eventually, but he sure sped up the process. And I can respect what he did 20 years ago. Yeah.
Like, Tom went from, like, reptile smuggler to one of the biggest voices pushing for proper fucking husbandry. You know, like, he literally went from one end of the spectrum to the other. He's trying to do good for the hobby. You know,
Tom is a very knowledgeable person. Whoa. You went away.
What just happened?
You went live.
It's weird. Live viewer comments. I don't know. It's never done that. I don't know why that's there. Oh! I accidentally pushed a button. My bad. Sorry, guys.
Tom is super knowledgeable.
He is.
What's that?
My phone's gonna die. So let's wrap this up real quick. We can.
Okay.
I want to get Tom.
Let me say something really quick.
Yeah,
anybody that has any comments, comment on the video when Kiana posts it. I'm sure she's going to share it to about 40,000 places, and people are going to have really bad things to say to me. Go ahead and say them.
Yeah.
Hey, say them. I want to inspire.
Say it.
I want to inspire conversation. You may not agree with what I have to say, but I hope that you're passionate enough to say whatever it is that's on your mind. If you disagree with what I have to say, go ahead and say it. We are grown-ups. I can have a conversation with someone. I will respond. You want to comment directly to me? Go ahead and say that. I will go find every comment I can. Kiana can tag me. I will respond to anybody's comment that pops up since we couldn't do this live. I want to have this conversation. I think we should have this conversation because it is a horribly hard conversation. So anybody that wants to say something to me, go ahead. I'm sure Kiana will make sure that I see it.
Oh my God.
But do the comment thing, respond, give your input, show that you're passionate too. Wow. You had a face going on there for
That's fucking noise. I can't hear anything.
Okay, I'll quit.
Okay. Sorry. I don't know if you're talking anymore.
Go ahead.
But follow Crown Pythons. You can follow chp on basically fucking anywhere. iTunes, Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We are Canadian Herpetoculture Podcast. Thanks for joining us. And forget to grab life by the hemi.
She said grab life by the hemipines in case she cut out.
I'm pushing the button. It's not.